Hello, everybody, and welcome to Carnivore Better Life. My name is Jack Shepherd, and I am making this video to show you guys how I began on carnivore diets. This is part of my playlist, so if you guys want to see the other videos, check out my playlist on my channel, and you can see how I started on carnivore and how I found it and all that good stuff. In this video, I'm gonna go through Dr. Ken Berry's How to Begin on Carnivore video. And I'm going to take the points out of the video that I really enjoyed and that really helped me out. And I'm going to talk about them here on the channel. His video is going to be in the link down below. You can always go and watch the full video. It's a bit of a long one, so the clips are also going to be a little bit longer. Sadly, it's about 7 minutes. I was hoping to get it down to like 3 minutes, but there was so many good points in this video that it's very difficult to not bring them up and take them with me, because there was actually so much here that, he makes some really good points. There's a lot of good content in there and a lot of good things that you really need to think about. So we are going to go through the first, or the points that really spoke to me and that really helped me out. And then we're going to talk about them afterwards. So I'm going to give you this 7-minute long clip, and please do pay attention to it because it's some very good points. And then we'll talk about it afterwards. I'll see you guys in a little while, and enjoy the clips.
Have you heard of the carnivore diet yet? It's becoming quite popular because of the amazing transformations in both health and weight loss that people experience when they give it a try. In this longer video, I'm going to try to give you a comprehensive list of everything that you should consider and plan for when starting a carnivore diet. I'm Dr. Ken Berry, a family physician with 20 years of clinical experience and over a year and a half of experience with the carnivore diet. And this video is going to help you understand, hopefully, every facet of a carnivore diet and what you should do to start it and continue it properly. Number one is commit to a time period to do this. And there's several reasons why. I started the carnivore diet as a 30-day challenge on my Facebook page. And at the end of that month, I felt so much better, even over and above carnivore. Even over and above keto, that I decided to do it for an additional month or two. And I just kept tacking on months until we're probably at 18, 19 months now. But some people notice some of the benefits of a carnivore diet almost immediately, within days. Other benefits take weeks, if not months, to materialize. Next is when you do eat a carnivore meal, is to eat until you're comfortably stuffed. And for the first few days or weeks on carnivore, I want you to push this a little bit. I want you to actually try to eat more than you think that you should eat. There is no calorie counting. There is no portion control on a carnivore diet. There's really no macro counting on a carnivore diet. You are to eat as our ancestors did. When you're hungry, you sit down and eat until you're comfortably stuffed. Then you stop eating. Next is, I want you to eat anywhere from 1 time a day up to 3 times a day. Now, if you'll follow the guideline I just gave you about eating till you're stuffed, there won't be any snacking in between. And indeed, there shouldn't be any snacking. If you're used to 3 meals a day with snacks right now, then just say, okay, I'm going to eat 3 carnivore meals a day, and I'm going to eat until I'm really stuffed, and there's going to be no snacking in between. Some carnivores will wind up just eating 1 very large meal a day because they're not hungry for the rest of the day. If that happens to you, that's fine, but that's definitely not a requirement. The next tip is to focus on fatty meat, whether this is fatty seafood or fatty cuts of land meat. You always want to opt for a fattier cut. Now, the next, I think this is important, especially if you've been eating a high carbohydrate junk diet for years and years, is to transition slowly to carnivore. I don't think this should be tomorrow I'm going 100% carnivore. I don't think that's necessary. And for many of you, I don't think that's probably ideal. You need to transition slowly over 1 to 3 weeks, maybe even a little longer. And I'll tell you more about why I think this is in a minute. But there's bound to be some carbohydrate withdrawal symptoms if you're eating a high carbohydrate diet now. And I don't want those to hit you too hard and all at once, because that can make it very hard to stick with a carnivore diet. The next tip is to give your stomach, your gallbladder, and your liver time to adapt to this. If you've been eating a high carbohydrate diet for years and a very low fat diet for years, then your stomach has gotten lazy. Your stomach is supposed to have a very high acidity to your stomach acid. It should be 1.3 to 2.0 on the pH scale, which is very, very acidic. But if you've been eating just grains and sugar and crap, then your stomach may have gotten used to just keeping a pH of 3 or 4 or 5, and that's not going to be able to digest meat properly. So give your stomach time to ramp up its acid production. Next is to cook in animal fats. So throw away all the vegetable oils, all the shortening, all of that junk. That stuff is very inflammatory and bad for you. I want you to cook in beef tallow, in bacon grease, in butter or ghee. You need to use an animal fat to cook in. Bison tallow is also wonderful. That's going to increase your fat to protein ratio, and it's also going to be a great source of vitamins and minerals that you otherwise might not get in your diet. Another tip is to focus on electrolytes and minerals. Having a good source of electrolytes and minerals is going to help you with the carbohydrate withdrawal symptoms that you'll probably experience. And it's also going to help you fight the cravings for junk food, because very often cravings are a sign of a mineral deficiency. The next tip is don't forget about eggs. Don't forget about liver. Don't forget about seafood. Don't forget about shellfish. These are all carnivore. If any food comes from an animal, that's carnivore. Don't fret if you slip up. If you have friends come over and they bring a casserole and you're like, and you eat that, don't worry about that one meal. What you don't want that meal to do is to turn into you falling off the wagon for a week or 2 or 3. So if you do slip up at a meal, or you eat something, you're like, oh crap, I thought that was 0 carb and they added some sugar and I didn't know it. Don't beat yourself up about that. Don't have negative thoughts about that. Just immediately refocus and recenter. Why am I doing this carnivore diet? What are my goals? And then get right back on the carnivore wagon, and do not let that dissuade you from doing that. Another experiment that you can do on your carnivore diet is dairy. Some people on a carnivore diet do great with heavy cream in their coffee, and they use butter and ghee. Some carnivores even do great with full-fat dairy in the form of kefir or yogurt, sour cream, cream cheese. But I would caution you to only use full-fat. And then if you're getting some benefits from your carnivore diet, but it's not as ground-shattering as you thought it was going to be, you might want to try a month dairy-free, or only dairy-free with only butter and ghee as your only dairy sources, because they are effectively the pure fat from the dairy. They don't have any of the proteins of dairy, which some carnivores find to be inflammatory.
Welcome back, everybody. All right, so that was one hell of a lot of information, or like a good amount of information, I would say. So I'm gonna start with saying that before I start this, I'm gonna say that I'm not a doctor myself. I'm just a guy doing the carnivore diet. I've been doing this diet now for, let me see, actually, yeah, 5 months, exactly 5 months to be direct here. Like, it's actually on the date. So yeah, I've been doing this for 5 months, and I've had a lot of benefits going carnivore diet. And this video really helped me out in the beginning of the diets. Dr. KenDBerry, which is actually a doctor. I'm not a doctor, just trying to be very clear here, but he is actually a family physician, I think he said. And he's a very, very knowledgeable person. Like, he knows a lot about what to eat and not what to eat, and what not to eat. Yeah, there we go. So this is a very nice video to go through. I'm just going to put my notes right here because I work like that. Okay, so let me see here. So first off, he said that you should to really like get into this diet. It's very important to put some goals down. Like, say that I'm going to try this for 1 month. I'm going to try this for maybe 3 months or whatever you want to do. I would highly recommend actually doing the full 3 month, even though it's a bit longer, right? Most people say I'm going to do this for 1 month. When I started, I put a goal of 2 months in actually. And it worked for me because I kept doing it. But 1 month will give you some benefits that are quite good. It will start changing you immediately. And then for me, when I got to 2 weeks, I had a bit of an issue with some carnivore flu that I didn't know how to handle, which I kind of missed in this video actually. He does actually talk about it, but he doesn't call it the carnivore flu directly. He just says that like there's some small things on the way that can like make you feel bad and then you get better afterwards. And that's actually the carnivore flu that he's talking about. But we're going to talk about that later because there's a way to negate it. That's pretty simple actually. I just didn't understand it when I saw the video initially. But yeah, once you get to in my case, I got to 2 weeks and then I got the carnivore flu and that was horrible for 2.5 days. And then I got better. I kept getting better actually for like a month. Like a full month from when I started. I had a lot of benefits. I was like super surprised. And I was like, okay, I feel this much better. So I'm just going to keep doing it with my 2 month goal in mind. And then I went to 2 months and a lot of things changed for me. Like a lot of things got better. Honorable mentions, my teeth. I didn't eat any sugar, right? So my teeth got way better. They didn't hurt all day long and stuff like that. I could drink cold water without any issues. My skin got better almost like immediately. I started not having like stomach issues. I didn't feel bloated. I started feeling lighter, even though I didn't lose much weight in the first 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks I didn't lose much weight, but then I started slowly losing weight and I started feeling way better. I started feeling, when I hit the 1 month mark, I started feeling like way more clear in my mind. And there was just a lot of benefits when it came to energy. After the 2 weeks where I got the carnivore flu and then like the 2.5 days, I started getting way more energy. Like on week 3, I was having like so much more energy. I was like on this alone, just having more energy. It felt great. It felt super great for me. But then I got to the 2 month mark and I was like, dude, I feel so good. I'm going to keep going on this because something is happening with my body and it just feels good all around. Did I have any issues? Only one issue. I had like cramps in my legs, my calves, I think it's called. That was the only issue I had. Everything else was pretty good, man. I did feel a little bit, I was trying very hard to avoid sugar. I had a big sugar addiction. After the first 3 weeks, the addiction kind of went away. And then I got to like the 2 month mark and I started having like a little bit of a addiction coming back to me. Like I felt like I needed sugar, even though I really didn't. It was just like an illusion in my mind. There was something that like, it's probably because of like childhood things, because I see certain things that I had as a child, right? Kind of drew me in a little bit, but I didn't fall off the wagon. I kept at it. But I added cheese to my foods, and we're going to talk about that later too, man. I'm just going through everything here so fast. But yeah, once I got to the 2 month, I immediately felt so much better. I felt so much more positive too. I could like, I didn't like, it was getting to the point where winter was coming, right? Usually I would feel depressed. I didn't feel depressed. I felt okay actually. I actually felt a little bit better than okay. I felt like positive. And it was kind of weird because I knew that it was coming. So I usually took like a pill so I wouldn't get too depressed. But I was like looking at that thing. I was like, I don't need this. I don't think I need this time. It might just have been in my mind, but something was different and changing with my energy. So that was really nice. So I kept going. And yeah, that's kind of why I think people should try it all the way to the 3 months because I got a lot of benefits in the third month. When I was doing this, it keeps getting better and it's still doing it on my 5th month mark. So I would highly recommend try it out for 3 months. Even though he does say you can just do it 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, right? Give it a chance until you get all the way, especially if you have taken any kind of, this is the word that I can't pronounce, testosterone. if you've taken any kind of supplements that changes your testosterone, testosterone, if you have taken any supplements that changes that, it will take some time for the for it to like mellow out or like get normal. I didn't notice at the time, but it will take some time for your for everything to normalize and your body to find its own balance. And I think honestly you need to do like 3 months to actually get your balance back, because that's when I started seeing insane benefits, like a lot. It became a lot more noticeable. Yeah, so that's the beginning of it. Let me see here. Yeah, you need to eat enough, and you don't need to worry about how many calories you consume. Your body will actually take care of if you get too much fat. It will actually take very well care of it, as long as you keep in mind you need to eat until it starts tasting less good. Like your brain will tell your tongue, you need to stop eating now because we got enough. You can eat a little bit more than that, but then just stop there, because it's gonna be where your body needs to be and where it wants to be, and then your body will take care of the rest. If you keep stopping yourself even over that, like a lot, of course you'll gain weight because it's fat, you know. But as long as you listen to the signals that your brain sends to your tongue, you'll be fine. Just be careful with if there's any added sugars or anything in it, because sugars will completely confuse your brain. And also, what else? There are some other things. Yeah, okay, so for instance, my stomach can't handle onions, which is also some of the things that we can talk about later, but onions can also confuse your brain a little bit to when you're actually stuffed, because it tastes so good. So your brain can't, like, it will tell your tongue, I'm stuffed, but the taste buds are still reacting to the onions. So be a little bit careful with that too. It can kind of confuse your brain and your tongue. I'm not sure if it's your brain that gets confused or if it's your tongue. I'm not entirely sure, but you can overeat too easily if you add any of those things in the beginning. Once you get attuned to it, you will know when you're just eating for fun or you're actually hungry. So yeah, just be a little bit aware of that. And yeah, eat enough fat. So when you choose your I eat once a day. I call it the Roman diet, because when they were out in the field as an army, they ate once a day, like a big meal, and then they ate some snacks in the evening. And when I say snacks, I mean in my case it's cheese and a little bit of meat, and that's all I do. And I do this to lose weight because I was super obese. I'm still a little bit fat, but I'm not too obese anymore. I'm actually news update, I'm on 91 kilograms, so I lost 19 kilos on the diet. Yay! I guess we can do the wait a minute. I guess we can do this either the hell yeah or this one here. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh, the hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
But yeah, I've gotten so much benefits of this. Weight loss is one of the big ones, but if you want to lose weight at a decent pace, I would highly recommend doing intermittent fasting like I did. Eat once a day, eat a big meal until you're comfortably stuffed, like Dr. KenDBerry says. And then afterwards, like in the evening, eat a little bit, like just a snack or something, so you feel good, right? And then adjust it as you go. You can eat something like, what is it called again? Butter brittle, I think it's called, which is a snack you can do where you brown butter, and then you put some bacon in it, and you put it in the freezer for 2 hours, and then you take it in and put it in your fridge. It's like a fat biscuit, essentially, and it's really good because it gives you it's sweet. It tastes like caramel with salt in it. And it's very delicious. And you take one bite of that and you won't have any cravings. I guarantee that. If you still have cravings after that, you're probably missing some minerals or something. But it will take care of any snack you want to do. And then it's very important. Like I eat at 12 in a normal day at dinner time or lunch. Sorry, lunch. I eat a big lunch, right? And then in the evening, I don't eat after 8 p.m. It's very important for me because then I get the full 16 hours of before I need to eat again. And this works really well for me because I'm losing weight. If you are very slim, if you are very lean and you need to gain weight, I would definitely go for like eating 3 times a day. And I would eat until I'm comfortably stuffed every time, because you have been starving yourself before this. Your body needs more nutrients, it needs more fat. You don't have a fat storage, so you have to eat. Because if you don't do that, you will fall in a pit of sugar or something and just eat until you die of sugar sickness or whatever. Diabetes, sorry. Danish it's sugar sickness. English it's called diabetes. But yeah, sorry, that was a little bit of a... it's just one of those things that can be very important. If you're very overweight like I was, definitely try out the Roman version where you eat 1 time a day, but start slowly. Just start slowly. The thing that I did was like, I used to eat in the morning, and then I ate at lunch and then dinner. That's how I used to do it. I slowly cut down my breakfast. I slowly cut it down, and I slowly cut down my evening dinner. So at some point I was only eating at lunch, right? And then I added a little snack in the evening, just so my body wouldn't get annoyed at me when I was transitioning into carnivore. So yeah, I would recommend doing that slowly. I did it over 3 weeks, I think. So I started out as 70% carnivore and then went 90% within those 3 weeks. I actually started lower than that now that I think about it. I might have started at like 60 or something like that, but something like that. You can start slowly and then get into it pretty easily. And that was the slow transition. Do watch out for the carnivore flu. There are ways to avoid it, and we will talk about that in a few minutes here. But before that, we need to talk about your stomach. So one of the big reasons that I switched, other than losing weight, big reasons, right? One of the big reasons that I switched was also that I was having a lot of stomach issues. I was having stomach pains, I was having gas, I was having just a bad time, man. I felt like I couldn't stay in my own body. I also had issues with my intestines, so that's completely gone. Everything is completely fine now. I don't have any issues. I don't feel bloated anymore. That was also a big thing. I felt bloated. Your stomach, when you start this diet, it needs time to adjust because it's gotten used. I lived on a Western diet for 20 years or something, and it's gotten used to just not treating meat the way that it's supposed to. And it takes time. It takes time for your stomach to get used to it. So if you start, I want to kind of use my hands here. If you start slowly, without hitting my microphone, if you start slowly from week 1, just go like 60% meat, and then you go to as close to 100% over 3 weeks or 4 weeks, you will do way better, like because your stomach needs time to adjust to it. And also, I don't have a gallbladder, just so you guys know. I had a little thing happen where I went to the hospital and almost died. And that was kind of my wake-up call, by the way. That's why I'm so hard on staying pure on this diet. Because I actually had a bit of a shock in many ways. And I got my gallbladder removed, so I don't have a gallbladder. So it took time for my liver to get used to actually create or like making more of the of the stuff that you need from your gallbladder or from your liver. And essentially what the gallbladder does is it concentrates your I can't remember what gall is called, like the in Danish it's called the same thing, so it's kind of weird. It's called galle, so it's the stuff that comes from that's usually in your gallbladder, right? And the gallbladder makes it concentrated in the gallbladder, and then when it like pushes out the gall, it pulls itself together, right? So that can create a lot of pain. So just be aware, or not a lot, but it creates some discomfort, I would say, if you have a gallbladder. Now I don't have a gallbladder, so my liver needs to produce enough, and it can't concentrate it. So I think what has happened, I don't know for sure, but I think it like learned how to like produce enough for my dinner, my lunch every day, over the 3 week period. I also have a suspicion that like it might have created like a place to store the stuff, even though I don't have a gallbladder. I would have to get a doctor to look at it if I needed to, or if I wanted to find out. But because I've noticed that like in the beginning I did have some issues with like a lot of fat, like my stomach would be a little bit upset, and then I would need to go to the bathroom pretty fast. But this is actually completely it's become okay. It's become fluid. I eat food and I can like, of course I still need to go to the bathroom maybe every 3 days or something like that, but it's not an issue anymore. I don't need to like storm out and just run to the bathroom in emergency with like tears in my eyes, or whatever you want to call that. I can just like eat and I'm fine, and then maybe in a few days I need to go to the bathroom and it feels normal again. It feels normal again. But it took a while for my stomach to get used to it. I think it took like 2 months at least. And then it started getting way better, way better. But all of the like stomach cramps and discomfort with most of it kind of disappeared way before that. And I didn't get bloated. I didn't have pain in my stomach in the way that I used to have it. But there is a transition period, even if you have a gallbladder. And if you have a gallbladder, you might feel some discomfort because it needs to re-strengthen itself. And the reason you get gallstones, by the way, is because your body doesn't use your gallbladder, so it gets like lazy and sick, and then you get gallstones. So if you actually eat enough meat and you keep using your gallbladder, it will heal itself, and it will become way better and way stronger. And you will never get gallstones as long as you eat meat and fat. It's actually like the gall or the gall is for the or the bile. It's called bile. There we go. I remembered. God, man. The bile actually is to digest the fat. So bile helps out for the fat, right? So eating a lot of fat, which I do. I eat a lot of fat, even though I'm still losing weight, right? Because it works like that. I eat a lot of fat, and it was hard for my stomach in the beginning. But if you have a gallbladder, it will be a little bit easier, but there will be some discomfort in the beginning for sure, especially if you hadn't eaten a lot of fat and meat before that. So just be aware of that, but it should be okay. Now, one thing that can happen if you have gallstones and one of those stones falls into the into one of the I call it canals or whatever, like one of the paths to your stomach. There's only one, I think, but if it falls into that can be super painful, and in that case you need to go to a doctor and get looked at, right? But yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen to you. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Oh yeah, next one here. So when you are cooking meat, it's very important to remove all your plant and seed oils. There are some oils like olive oil that can be okay. And coconut oil is actually, it's probably the most healthy one of them. Is probably coconut oil, because it doesn't have any of the chemicals that seed oils do, right? So you can probably use those. Those will be okay. There's 2 more oils that are actually okay, that are not seed oils, but are more like vegetable oils. I think it's avocado and, damn, I can never remember the last one. I just keep forgetting the last one, man. But yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Those 3 are pretty good. But when you're cooking in the beginning, I think you should just cut all of the plant oils and just use normal butter or ghee is very good. Ghee is actually my favorite, personally favorite. You can also use what's it called again? What is it called again? You can also use some of the other ones, like tallow or lard. Lard. It's not called lard in Denmark. We call it svinefedt, like piggy fat, I guess. It's such a weird way to translate it directly, but yeah, you can use lard and tallow, and it's pretty good. I have actually here, I have some, it's called raps oil. This is a seed oil, and I have seed oil, yes. Do you know what I use my seed oil for? I never eat this stuff because it's super poisonous for your system. It is created through a insane industrial process, and it's super cheap to produce. When this came out in the beginning, they used it for machines, and so that's what I use it for, or I use it for wood more specifically. Let me take this here. This is so weird using my, but this is where I cut my meat. Look at this thing right here. Ta-da! I think it even has like a little mark in the corner there. It's like a nice cutting board, right? So what I do is I use this oil. I put it on this board and then I clean it afterwards. And it kind of makes it better because it doesn't dry out. So that's what I use vegetable seed oils for. Don't eat that shit because it will stay in your body for a very long time and it's super unhealthy for you. The issue I had with it was that it was like when I eat it, my body slows down for some reason. Like my, I don't know if it's heart rate. I don't think it's my heart rate, but I can feel everything becoming heavier and uncomfortable. So don't eat seed oils. I was actually at a restaurant where it ate a good steak. It was a nice steak, but I could like feel it afterwards that it like kind of felt like my something was changed, right? And I asked the chef, sorry, did you use oils for this, or did you actually use animal fat? And he used seed oils for it, and I was like, oh my god, man, because yeah, it's even worse if you heat up seed oils. But I'll make a video later on that because it's pretty much terrible. So I use seed oils for machines and for wood, and that's it. Animal fats are for humans. Seed oils are not. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, let me see what else we got here. Oh yeah, electrolytes. So this is the thing that I didn't know when I started out, that I didn't pay attention, I guess. So electrolytes and salt. I have a supplement here somewhere. Or did I not? I might have put it in the box. Let me actually get this. Just a second, guys. So this is actually a, I'm not promoted by anyone, so I'm not gonna show you the label here, but this is a electrolyte powder that I take, and it helps me with certain things. There are minerals and stuff and things and salts in there that makes it a little bit better because you need them. And we used to get them from rivers, but we don't get them in the drinking water we have today because companies are draining the rivers for water, and then they are taking out the electrolytes. Very nice way to make money, by the way. But these electrolytes and salt, like normal table salt, you can put it in water so it like becomes salt water, I guess, and then drink it. These things actually counteract the carnivore flu. So if you want to avoid that, you should take some of these supplements to actually help you out when you start out. So if you do this, you will avoid most of the carnivore flu for most people. That's my experience anyways. Now I use them because sometimes if I feel tired, I take some of this and then I feel better. And I also do salt. I take the salt into water and drink the salt water because it actually stops my legs from cramping, which is kind of weird. I don't know why that's happening, but apparently I need salt for something. I'm guessing that if I had to guess, I think it's because I need to transport something to my legs and my calves are furthest away. So something like that. That's my guess. Again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. But salt seems to fix the problem, and it actually makes it a lot better in many ways. It also helps with energy. Actually, salt also helps with energy, and it helps with staying hydrated. Drink a lot of water, lots of water. It's always good. Yeah. So I guess we talked about the carnivore flu. Carnivore flu can be quite annoying to deal with, and it will happen for most people. For some, it's worse than others. Some it can last like a week, and for me, it was like 2 days, 2.5 days. So yeah, it's a little bit different. I also eat eggs. I eat a lot of eggs. I try to get eggs from a farm that my family knows, and they are free chickens, I guess. They're free, that they're like walking around and eating good food. So I know that they're well fed. So the eggs are actually very fresh and they taste way better than eggs that I buy at the shops. But yeah, if you don't have access to that, you can always get like normal good eggs. Just try to get some that are like from, well, you know, where they feed the animals the right thing. That's the most important thing if you want good eggs to eat. I also like that they treat the animal well, but that's just me. You know, I don't want them to mistreat the animal, but that's, you don't have to do that. And then also you kind of need to eat liver and organs or like other organs because it gives you certain vitamins. I am not the biggest fan of liver. It tastes has an interesting taste, and for me, the taste is okay, but the consistency of it is very much not okay. The consistency is very weird, and other organs can be a little bit like that, but they have a lot of the vitamins that you need and nutrients. So I eat a supplement that's called Organ Mix. I'm not promoting them. I'm not associated with them in any way, other than I buy their product because it works for me. There are other products out there. Now, of course, if they want to sponsor me, that's fine. I would enjoy that a lot actually, but I would be okay with that. Let me just say that. but they don't. I'm not sponsored by anyone right now, and I honestly, if you eat the organs, you won't need any supplement. But if you're like me and you don't like organs, like eating them, or don't get enough of them, then definitely you can get a supplement that is all natural from. This is from cows, I think. This is like organs from cows. Grass-fed cows to be specific, so it's really good. It's really good, really healthy, and it takes care of everything. Some people might say, "My God, you don't get any fiber or vitamin C," and to that I can only say you don't need fiber. Fiber is an illusion created by companies because you're eating too much sugar. And if you eat fiber, it goes into your body, and fiber comes out of your body again. You can't like change it into anything. You can't make it into anything. Your body is not able to digest it in any way. So the only thing it's good for is transporting other stuff that is harmful for your body, like sugar, for instance. So if you eat a lot of sugar, you're gonna need fiber to soak some of it, so you don't get all of it into your bloodstream, or into your body. But it can harm your intestines over prolonged use. That was actually the issue I had with my intestines. I was eating fiber supplements because I thought I needed it. And it did help because I had I ate a lot of sugar, right? I had a big sugar addiction. But once I stopped my sugar thing, I stopped eating sugar altogether. It actually harmed my intestines. And once I stopped eating any kind of fiber, it completely healed. So yeah, that's a big thing, actually. You don't need fiber. You can't digest it. It's useless if you don't eat sugar. And then what was the other thing I said? Fiber and something else. I might have forgotten that, but remind me in the chat, in the comments, if you guys want, if there's anything that I missed. Yeah, I think that's the supplement part of it. He also says that you shouldn't be afraid if you slip up on carnivore. This is the nice thing about the diet, if you will. It's not a big deal if you slip up. There are things that can be very detrimental to the diet. Like, it's very important to not be like, oh, once a week I'll allow myself to eat some candy. Don't do that, because it's gonna become a thing that you always do, and then suddenly it becomes always, and then because sugar is addictive, you're gonna get into a bad cycle, right? If it happens once a month on a not specific day, just because you're out with your family or something, it's not a big deal. Try to minimize the amount that you take in, though, if you notice something. So just try not to do too much. But if you slip up on carnivore diet, it's just be like, oh, I slipped up, too bad. I'm just gonna jump on the bicycle again and then get going. You don't need to worry about it too much. But I would highly recommend to not fall into a pit, right? Just try not to make it a standard thing that you do, because as soon as you do that, you have you are in danger of getting addicted to something or getting used to something that you shouldn't be eating and that you shouldn't have in your body, right? It's a little bit different if you have done this for like a year and then you decide, okay, this one thing I'm gonna try if my body reacts fine to that, and if your body then reacts okay to it, you can do it, right? But not, I wouldn't say, like, the thing that you probably should do this with is sugar, because sugar is too addictive. And it's bad for you in so many ways, more ways than people think. Like, just your skin reacts to sugar, and my skin has become way better now that I'm not eating sugar anymore. I used to have like all sorts of issues with my skin. It's all gone, almost all of it. I have like a little bit here, but I'm still, getting better on it. So it is pretty good to get rid of sugar. But when it comes to like the plants, you might be able to eat like onions. Maybe I can't do it, but some people are able to eat onions, and it's totally fine as long as you cook them right. Don't eat anything raw. Do not eat plants raw, because plants are not meant to be eaten raw. They are very unhealthy for you, most of them, anyways. Berries can be like okay, but it's as a human we're only used to eating berries once a year, maybe. So don't overdo that. It's not healthy for you. It's also sugar. So also like I can't. We're gonna talk about that in a minute here. The last thing I want to talk about is cheese and dairy fats. So when it comes to the fat part of it, cheese and dairy is very bad for losing weight. If you're very thin or slender or whatever, you don't have fat on your body, dairy can be pretty good. I eat cheese, but I eat a very small amount of it just to like have a little bit of a nice thing that tastes nice in the evening, right? I eat a little bit of cheese. If I wanted to lose weight faster, I would cut the cheese and not eat it, because my body, when it comes to like cheese and fat, there's a lot of fat in it, and you will gain a lot of weight easily by using cheese and stuff. So there's a little bit of a risk there when it comes to weight loss. But when it comes to the carnivore diet, it's actually pretty good for you. Like it's good as long as you can stay away from lactose, because lactose is a sugar. And so you need to make sure that whatever dairies you're eating or drinking, try to find the ones that has very little lactose in it, because lactose can screw with your skin. It can like give you a sugar rush that you don't want to do. So I stay away from lactose almost like completely. There's a little bit of lactose in some of the cheeses and stuff that I eat, but I'm keeping my eye on it a lot, so I make sure to like stay away from lactose as much as possible. But yeah, if you if you want to lose weight fast, you should not be eating. You should probably be cutting cheese away from it. You can eat some meat or something, but yeah, it's a little bit difficult with the cheese. Also, another reason that I actually eat cheese in the evening is also because I don't want to lose weight too fast. I want this to be healthy for my body. So I'm trying to lose about half a kilo every week, which is what I see as healthy. Again, I'm not a doctor, but this is what other people have told me is a healthy way to lose weight. If you lose like 2 kilograms in a week, it can be pretty hard for your body to like get used to it, and you might have like other things that can get damaged from it. So just be a little bit aware of that. This is different if you're working out though. If you're working out, there's different factors that like gets into it. But if you're just changing your diet and not working out more than you did before, just be aware that like losing weight too fast can be a little bit hard for your body, especially your liver and your gallbladder. Now I don't have a gallbladder, so at least I don't have that issue anymore. But it can be a little bit difficult for your organs if you lose weight too fast. So just half a kilogram every week is fine for me, at least. That's how it works for me. So I adjust the amount of cheese that I eat and the amount of fatty dairy products. What other dairy products am I? Sometimes I do drink a little bit of milk. I drink like I don't know what it's called in English, but it's like a high fat milk. That's very delicious. And yeah, it's okay. It's not too bad, but I do try to minimize a little bit so I stay within my normal weight loss. So yeah, that's more or less it. I am on my 5th month of carnivore diet, and I am still getting benefits that are quite good. I'm gonna see if I missed anything. I think we got through everything here. At least I hope I don't miss anything. Um, yeah, I think this is it. I am I'm super excited to see what the future of this diet will bring for me. I am enjoying it fully. Oh, one last thing I do want to mention. So it's a bit difficult when it comes to other people. The one thing that you can't really control is how other people will accept your diet and react to it. And sometimes you have a family that's supportive, like my mother. My mother is very supportive, and she's also trying to get better with losing weight and all that. She has a big sugar addiction though, so it's a little bit difficult for her. Because she wants to listen, I talk to her and try to help, and she helps me too with her experience because she has a lot of experience that sometimes only comes forward when we talk about the things. So it's a very good way to do it. Talk to the elder people in your family, if you have any, can really help out. My dad doesn't really care or understand it, so it's very difficult. He gets a little bit tired of me mentioning it too much, so I just mention it a little bit less. My sister she's happy that I lost weight, but she's not happy when I talk about it because she doesn't want to. She doesn't think that it's the right thing to do, and she doesn't think that people can live healthy on meat because she listens a lot to the wrong things. In my opinion, she listens to the meat can create cancer, meat which has been debunked a million times, right? Red meat is bad for you, which is a complete lie from companies. So just be aware that there's a lot of you'll meet a lot of resistance to this diet, and people will think that you're insane. I have my usual doctor that I see, and he's like okay with it. He's like, yeah, it seems to be working for you, man. That's good. And then I actually went to see another doctor, and she nearly fell down from her chair when she heard what I was doing. And she was like, "Oh my God, you can't do that." And I'm like, "Yes, I can." So get out of my hair, man. But yeah, and then she like calmed down, and we just talked about it a little bit. And she could see that everything was fine with my body and all that. So yeah, it was not that big of a deal. But other people will react badly to it, especially if they are like vegan or something. They'll be completely rushed about it. So mostly I keep to myself. If people want to hear more, if they have questions when I'm like eating my dinner or my lunch, sorry, if they have questions, I will answer the questions and I will tell them my experience with it, but I won't push it on people. I think it's very important to just give people their space, and when they are ready, you can introduce them to the carnivore diet. But be a little careful with not being too pushy, and accept that other people are just they just don't understand because they don't have the knowledge that you do, and they haven't experienced the hardship yet that you have. For my case, I had to go to the hospital before realizing that my body can't handle plants and can't handle sugar very well, and I didn't want to get diabetic. I didn't want to get that. So I had to change a lot of things. I simply had to. It was not a choice. Well, the choice was like get sick and die. So I chose to live and actually eat the correct human diet, in my opinion. And when people are open for this and they see the health benefits, like people are asking me now, "Oh my God, dude, what happened? You look so healthy. You look way more healthy now. You lost so much weight. What are you doing right?" People will start asking on their own and come to you, and then you can answer them. Well, I'm doing this thing that's called the carnivore diet, and if you want to know more, I'll be glad to explain it to you. Or in my case, I'll send them some of my videos maybe. And it actually helps a lot with explaining what it is, because if you just start talking about doing I'm only eating meat and all that, people are going to look at you like you're crazy. But it's very important for this to be like a smooth thing that comes naturally to people. And it's the more knowledge you have about this diet, the more it makes sense. Just so you know, like the more you figure out and the more you try this, the more it makes sense. At least in my eyes, at least in my opinion. Just understand that the general understanding of this right now is not that like good, if you will. especially because you have your whole country, your state, if you will, is like fighting you on this because our country in Denmark take a lot of the advice that comes from the US, United States, and I mean it's not real science. It's companies and people who produce or produce food, right? Those are the guys, and the politicians. Those are the guys making the rules, right? And they are printing numbers essentially. They're making up fake studies and fake numbers and just pushing it very hard on people. And it's terrible, man. It's very bad, and I really hope that the Danish state starts to not listen to that shit anymore. Start making our own experiences and start making real studies that are actually correct and like truthful to the people that it's supposed to serve. Because I remember the food pyramid in my school, and I still remember it to this day, and it is completely wrong, And man, we see children now who are actually living on a carnivore diet, and they are doing way better than any of the other children because they get the correct amount of nutrients, they get the correct amount of food, they don't have a sugar addiction, so they are calm and they are good children. There's so many things about that too that just it's kind of wild, man. And I wish I could help my family more, but they're not listening at the moment, so it's just gonna take time. It's going to take time for all this to change. And if you're doing carnivore diet, you will meet some resistance. Just keep doing what feels good for you, man. If you have some kind of issue, talk to Dr. Berry or Dr. Anthony Chaffee and ask them what it could be, because there could also be some medical issues, right? And I don't know anything about, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know anything about medical issues, but just be assured that like it's not the meat and the fat that's gonna be a problem. It's something else if there is a problem. So just be aware of that. But yeah, of course, always listen to your body's signals, and you'll do just fine. You'll be good. You'll be good to go. But yeah, I think I've talked enough about this issue. This video has gotten way longer than it should. I hope you enjoy the content, and I hope you learned something from it, and I hope that you get a good start on your carnivore diet. Okay, guys. This is Jack Shepherd, and I'm gonna go eat some meat. So have a nice evening, guys. Bye bye.